All right, let's get started. My name is Dave. I am with SMP. I am an adoption services consultant. That means that I am a trainer here with SMP. And today, what we're going to be doing for our WebEx Wednesdays is a quick look at which WebEx when. There are several different versions of WebEx out there from Cisco, and these include meetings, events, Teams, and Training Center. And we're going to do a very high level overview of each of these today, just to get a look at what are some of the differences. And the main focus today is on what are the differences and why I might use one versus another. So if you have any other questions about this, please feel free to save your questions to the end. I will have a Q&A section at the end of this. We are going to talk about Webex Teams first. It's a little bit of a different service than the other three. So we'll look at Webex Teams, and then we're going to talk about Webex meetings, events, training. I'll kind of summarize this all up with a couple of conclusions that may help you with which one you might want to be using at which time. And then I will have time at the end for questions and answers. I'm going to try to save, I know this is only 30 minutes, I'm going to try to save about 20 minutes, or excuse me, about 10 minutes at the end, maybe 7 minutes. We'll see how we do on time. But if you've got questions, this will be a great opportunity too. If you do not have a service and you're interested at the end of this, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be happy to answer any further questions and maybe even be able to give you a demonstration in deeper depth. So again, my name is Dave. I'm with SMP. Welcome to WebEx Wednesdays. This is which WebEx when. And today we're going to be looking at WebEx Teams, WebEx meetings, WebEx events, WebEx trainings, and then we'll have a conclusions and our questions and answers at the end. Thank all of you for joining me. I hope that you're always all doing well. I know these services are really helping us out during this time. And I know that we're being able to use more and more of these remote services provided by Cisco. And I hope today gives you a little bit more of a guidance of what you might want to use when. The first thing we're going to look at today is WebEx Teams. And you'll see here what I've done is I have a screenshot up of when you go to webex.com, you get a choice between the left side WebEx meetings and the right side of WebEx Teams. Now, for those of you who have been using this, you probably already have the desktop apps. Now, anybody who's attended some of the other classes, if you've done the WebEx Meetings Basics held by Katie Shaw, or Katie's class last week on iOS with WebEx, or my advanced class on WebEx Meetings, you probably already have the desktop apps for each of these. WebEx Teams is a collaborative space. It's a program that is designed to help us work together as a team. A team may be 2 people, it may be 30 people, different projects we may be having going on, and it could just be a communication place for us as well. It's broken down into several different areas. On the upper left-hand side, you'll notice I have a circle around the home. Down the left side there is the navigation pane. And I have my home, which is showing currently the spaces. And a space is a place where there's a project. It's 2 people, maybe 30 people, who are working together on a specific program. We're just having a conversation, sharing files back and forth. The space is our working area. Below that, you'll see where our teams are, and then calls, and of course, our calendar for upcoming meetings. Again, this is just an overview. I'm going to be diving into what all of these do. I just want you to have an understanding of what WebEx Teams is. So WebEx Teams provides us with a space for us to work together on different projects. It gives us a place where we can have whiteboards, we can share files and links. It's an ongoing project site. And it's also where we can have quick team meetings. So a couple of things I want to point out on this one. You'll notice there I have a big green button that says meet, and I have a big orange button there that says schedule. And these two things are very important to point out because if I press the meet button, what it's actually doing is it's scheduling a meeting for the people in that space on that project and only those people, which is really neat. So if I have a team that I'm working together, let's say there's 12 of us and we're working on an upcoming project, when I click on Meet, it's going to call all of those people and only those people. People that are seeing the information that's being shared in here, whether it's on the whiteboard or the files, those are my team members working on that special project. So some of you may be familiar with some of the other programs out there from some of the other companies like Slack or Microsoft Teams. This is a very similar idea. It just has a lot more advanced features than you see in some of the other programs. It's really designed as a fantastic enterprise solution. It allows me to work internally and externally with groups of people on different projects and have everything from one project under one space that I can share and refer back to at any point. And here's a good example. So under here, I'm looking at files between myself and another colleague, and you can see the different things that we've been sharing back and forth, the files that we've had that relate to a project that we have going on. Same thing with our whiteboards. Any of the whiteboards that we've shared that go to this project are going to be in one location. So the key thing you need to understand about Teams is that it's designed to work together. It's a collaborative space where I can share whiteboards, ideas, files, links, schedule meetings, all within one group or project that I'm working on. Webex Teams is our collaborative space, and it includes a lot of wonderful different things. If you'd like more information, we can always answer those questions later on, or you can reach out to someone here at SMP. So with Teams, let's delve into meetings. If Teams is my collaborative space, it's where I'm working on a project, meetings is where I can really delve into a single meeting. This is where I can schedule a conference room. And the best way I always say to look at this is in the old days when we were all in our office spaces, if we wanted to host a meeting, we could schedule a conference room and everybody could go into the conference room. And that's what the WebEx meeting is. It's that conference room that I may have booked in my office space. But now I can be anywhere in the world. And all of the people that are attending that meeting can be anywhere in the world. Meetings gives us a place to host our presentations. We can share our screens, have ongoing meetings and conversations. Some of the ones that I've seen recently I thought were a very creative use was the new cocktail hours, the new happy hours that people are hosting. So I don't have to have necessarily a conference room. It's a great place for me just to get together with people and have a meeting and share ideas. And the best part is I have the option to use video. It gives me the option also to share my screen. I can have polling. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when I discussed the advanced features. Meeting allows me to poll the people in the meeting and get some answers to different questions I might have, be able to find out what the pulse is of everybody in that meeting. It's a way that I can bring a large group of people, up to 1,000 people together, have a scheduled meeting. Meetings can be as long as you want them to be. Typically, they might be an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours long, or in the case of this one, it might only be 30 minutes long. But meetings is a place where I have that meeting that I would normally have in a conference room, but now I can have it anywhere in the world that I want to. It gives me the opportunity to bring people together where we can all share our ideas, we can share our screens, and we can have several different presentations presented at once. So meetings is that great space to have that one-time meeting or maybe a weekly meeting, but it's not collaborative space that we had in Teams. This brings us into where I really felt we're going to start to delve into. And if meetings is that up to 1,000 people, I can do a presentation, I can share some basic information of things that are going on. Maybe it's an update on how my company is doing. Maybe it's an update on a presentation that I'm going to be giving. Maybe it's just, let's figure out what we're going to be doing for next month. Meetings is great for that. The Events Center or Webex Events Center is where I can host a major event. The best way to think of this is like your conference center. So if you're familiar with New York City, it would be like the Javits Center. If you've ever held a conference out in Las Vegas, it would be like one of the big casino places out there where you might have a big conference center. So if meetings is my conference room, my event center is going to be the conference center. Here I can hold large scale online events. I can have host webinars, events and conferences. I can do product launches. We can have employee communications. It gives me the option to have lots of things like program and campaign management. I can even do post-event surveys. Matter of fact, you'll probably see one after this today. The event center gives me a lot of things that the meeting center doesn't really give. It allows me to take that meeting and expand it out and make it much bigger and much more impactful on a larger scale. It allows me to have lead source tracking. It also gives me the enrollment scoring. One of the unique things about the Event Center it does have an e-commerce option. So I can host an event and I can charge people for attending that event. So we're seeing more and more services that are going online today. I know Cisco Live is going to be online. For those of us who are Mac users, WWDC is going to be online. For something like that, that's what Webex Event Center is going to be used for. What's really great about the Event Center is I can host up to 3,000 attendees. Before Webex meetings, I could have up to 1,000 people in a meeting. Great. But here now I can have up to 3,000 people attending. Some other things that I can take advantage of. I have email templates that I can create. I have registration questions that I can now put together, which is fantastic. If I wanted to ask some specific questions leading up to the registration, I have that option. And then, of course, at the end, I have the option of a survey to send out. I could even actually do a survey in the beginning if I want to. I can use a system with the survey, such as the built-in one, that allows me to create a post-event survey. But I can also use a service, see there under destination URL, I can use a service like SurveyMonkey, put that in there, and it automatically sends it out to anybody who wants to be there. One of the other things that I really want to touch upon with events that gives us some advantages over meetings is that it allows me, and we touched on this earlier with the programs and the campaign management. I can have, for example, Webex Wednesdays that we're doing now. That actually could be a program. It might be something that's ongoing. It might be something we only do for 4 or 5 weeks, but that's going to be a program or a campaign that I'm going to be doing. In there, I might have different events. So I have an overall program, Webex Wednesdays. And then each event would be listed under that program. And in the end, I will have a collective space that has all the information of that whole program. So let's say Webex Wednesdays begins and goes for an entire year, and we run all of those under one program. Now, at the end of the year, I can go in and I can collect all the data for the entire program and break it down and see how well it did. And I can look at all of the analytics that go along with this, with the program. That's a really great feature that events gives us over meetings. So events is the big brother of our meetings. It takes that meeting and expands it out and really makes it that full conference center that we're looking for. The last thing that we're going to take a look at right now is our Webex Training Center. And Webex Training Center is interesting because it's kind of like events designed specific for training. And I have to say, obviously, because of what I do, I've been very impressed with this system. Some of the things that it gives me, I have the ability to do testing, I can do instant grading, we can have instructor scoring, which is really nice because now with the training center, not only am I able to do ongoing training with a team or for a company, but we can have testing in there to see, hey, how are they doing? Are they getting the information the way I want them to? Are they learning the things that I feel that they should be learning? Then let's break this out even more. We have breakout sessions and hands-on labs. So now I can have other instructors in the training center with me, which is great. And I can have breakout sessions with them. So now we've amped this up even further than an event. And now I have these different breakout sessions where people can go off and maybe learn subcategories of a different training. Or maybe I've got team one over here, team two, and team three. And I say, okay, here's what I want you all to look at. And I give them an assignment. And then I say, each of you break off into your sessions. We'll all come back at the end and we can share our information. That just really amps things up for me, that the idea that I can have these small breakout sessions within a larger training event. And then the other thing I think is really cool is a hands-on lab. Something I didn't mention earlier is that I used to work for Apple. And at Apple, a lot of the hands-on training that we did was actually through this type of a system, learning how to take apart the computers, which is just a really cool way to do things. So you have the ability there to actually do hands-on labs. Gives me the ability to deliver highly interactive and effective online training and e-training up to 1,000 people. Right? So meetings and WebEx training are both up to 1,000 people. Event Center gives me up to 3,000 people. Like Event Center, I can also use training for e-commerce. I can monetize my training. Now, what's really neat about this is not only can I charge people to attend a live training session or sessions, but I can also take those sessions, have them recorded, and monetize those later. So now, let's say we go out, we provide a live training for you, or for you provide a live training for a company, and then later on they say, gee, we really would like to have that available to us later. Well, hey, the good news is that for a small fee, yes, you can do that. We can provide that. So you're able to not only make money off of the live training that you're doing, you can also go back and charge for any of the refresher sessions they might have. So anybody who might be looking for a learning management system or getting into e-learning, but isn't ready to go into something huge like a Skillshare or like a Docebo or something like that, this is a great alternative to look at, because now you can have a lot of the same sessions that you're able to do. It can host a lot of the courses that you may want. It'll host the recorded sessions plus the live sessions. You've got your breakout sessions. You've got your hands-on labs, and you can charge for it. You can have an e-commerce site built around that WebEx training. So we're looking at this, and we have these 4 different things that we've looked at. We have WebEx Teams, which is a collaborative space for us to work on different projects. Matter of fact, let's take a look at this. We have meetings, which is a presentation space to host the meetings. It allows us to have collaborative sessions. It's not an ongoing collaborative space like media, like Teams. It is a collaborative session. I can have it with internal and external people. We can talk about products and project coordination, demos. I can do sales presentations. But that's what meetings is for. It's that one-time meeting to share something along those lines. Events, much larger meetings. They can include a campaign or a program. You've got webinars, events, conferences, product launches, and employee communications. So, we're seeing things like Event Center being used more and more for companies like Walmart and Apple, not necessarily this specific product, but that's what they're doing is they're hosting an event. And that's where you really see it for programs like that. And then we have training. And training, that gives us that online training space to host and house our e-learning. Allows us to do both the live and to host it later. Great for your employee, your partner, your customer training, your product rollouts. It's also a great space for those of you that host certification, IT training, anybody who's doing any kind of distance learning. And for a lot of us that with this new environment that we're in, this is a great way to not lose touch with that ongoing training that we're trying to host for our employees and keep them up to date. Now you can use a service like Webex Training and be able to continue their ongoing training. And I did save Teams for the end because it's a little bit different than meetings, events, and training center. Teams is great for working on those projects and that ongoing communication. Teams is something that is ongoing. It's a collaboration tool for working with both your internal and your external teams. It's got that shared space, shared files, the meetings, and the whiteboards. It is one big collaborative space for an ongoing project. I hope today helped. The goal was to give each of you an overview of the differences between these four main products. There's a lot more information that's out there. You can certainly visit webex.com if you'd like to, but I think one of the best ways to learn more about this is to reach out to any one of us here at SMP, and we can answer those questions specifically. We could probably even schedule a demonstration for you and get you connected. So if you'd like any more information, please feel free to reach out to us. If there are no other questions, it looks like we're going to finish about 5 minutes early. I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today. Again, I hope today helped. I also hope that each of you stay healthy and safe. I wish you continued excellent success. Thank you all for attending. My name is Dave. I'm with SMP-Corp. Thank you.